I wish I lived in Georgia right now. To know you have actual power, not just to talk about making things better, but to truly do it. We live in a world that feels controlled by an increasingly smaller and smaller group. People who spend billions of dollars on our election and their politicians, who control our news and buy our social media. And yet we just had a midterm where even with all the money spent and all the influence waged, the voice of the people was still heard. And voters in Georgia get to have the last word. This runoff election is a gift. Georgia voters have the opportunity to pick not only between two wildly different candidates, but between a functioning and dysfunctional government. I'm not sure people understand how enormous the difference is between a 50-50 Democratic majority and a 51-49 Democratic majority. So let me break it down. Right now, everything the Senate does is on a razor's edge because the Democrats don't really have the majority. They have the majority if the vice president casts a tie-breaking vote. A 50-50 split means the Democrats can chair Senate committees, but the amount of senators on those committees has to be equal. That equal split allows Republicans to stalemate every single vote committees take. Hey, Judicial Committee, we would like to fill this judge's seat. Let's take a vote. Stalemate. Half for, half against. Hey, Foreign Relations Committee, we'd like to approve this nominee for ambassador. Tie. Half for, half against. These aren't laws they're passing in committee. These are basic Senate duties. Yes, this person is fine. Vote them out of committee so they can go off and do their job. But the Republicans won't vote them out of committee, not because they're inappropriate nominees or because they would be bad at their job, but because a tie in committee means the nominee now requires a vote on the Senate floor. Republicans know they can't win that vote because at the end of the day, with the VP, Democrats have the majority. But they do know that scheduling that vote, where every single senator plus the vice president has to be in DC at the same time, is a logistical nightmare. So requiring every nominee to have a full Senate vote holds up the entire government. People can't get sick. Vice president has to be in town. Everyone has to stop the work they're doing and fly to DC to take a vote that could have easily been accomplished in a committee. It's the equivalent of making everyone in your office come in for a meeting that could have been an email. It won't ultimately make a difference to the result, but it slows down the entire process and wastes everyone's time when they could be getting real work done. A vote for a 51st Democratic senator means we no longer have to split Senate committees evenly. Democrats can take the majority, and we can start passing things in committee as we were meant to without a full Senate approval. This will free up the vice president to go do other things other than just babysitting the Senate. She can travel. She can leave the country. Senators can do other work and be back in their states. And one whole branch of our government is no longer deliberately being gummed up with unnecessary busy work just to make government look bad. Like there are 87 judicial vacancies in the country right now, with 58 Biden nominees just kind of twiddling their thumbs waiting for a hearing or a vote. With 51 senators, we can fast track that entire process without Republican sabotage holding us up. With 51 senators, no single Democratic senator, Sinema and Manchin, can block a bill. No single senator can just make decisions based on their own interests. With 51 senators, we can fill a Supreme Court seat with less drama. We can give ourselves a buffer in the 24 elections where the Democrats will be defending incumbent seats in 3 Trump states and 5 purple states. Plus, and this should be the most important, the people of Georgia get to vote for the better person. You get to shut down the cynical campaign the Republicans have thrust upon us. Raphael Warnock is an excellent senator. A truly good man of upstanding character who has excelled at his job and actually cares about the people of Georgia. His opponent is a known pathological liar with a history of violence against women, a diagnosed personality disorder who doesn't understand the job he's running for and has no business anywhere near the U.S. Senate. It's not even like this election is about control of government. Democrats will have the majority either way. So this race is really about character and competency. Because 6 years is a long time to give an important job to a man who can't string a sentence together simply because the Republican powers that be want to use him as a meat puppet. Quite frankly, it's shameless to use a human being who doesn't seem to know any better like this. And Georgians have the opportunity to shut it down, to say, no, this is gross. We don't do this. Ultimately, Georgia gets to choose between the man who helped secure thousands of new jobs for their state, who capped insulin costs for Medicare patients and lowered prescription drug prices for seniors, or the man who will vote to reverse all of those gains, plus take away Social Security and Medicare, because that's what he's been told to do. Georgia, your vote is the difference between skill and ignorance, between a functioning democracy and a broken one. Quite frankly, your vote is the choice between right and wrong. You get that power. You get that choice. You are the ones who get to represent the values of our country, who get to direct which way we will go, and I believe you will choose the right path. Early voting starts November 28th and goes through December 6th. You got this, Georgia. It's competence or crazy, and it all comes down to you.